friends taught me something beautiful. That I can just be myself.
Huh? This is reminiscent of the main game where you get to see all the realms after they defeat the oppressor. Well, they defeat the suppressor. What was it called? It was just a dark Renin spirit, but I feel like it had a name. The Subsumer, that's what it was called. It was called the Subsumer. When you defeat the Subsumer and defeat Volrin and you get to see all the realms.
I have to be. I've never known such joy before.
If I cared about Nazamil, that'd be such a nice image to end on. There's gotta be more. That can't be the whole ending. That cannot be the end. Oh, all right, we're done. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn. It's okay. It's decent. It's fine. Your mileage may vary. It really depends on how much you like Tales of Arise. If you came back from Tales of Arise being like this game wasn't like the best thing ever, you're not gonna like this DLC. Even as someone who loves Tales of Arise, this DLC is a massive disappointment. The only real like good thing I can say about it is like if you like the game, it's more Tales of Arise. You get to play the game more, you get to see the characters more. Getting to see the characters reunite is really nice. The X Quest was cool, but even then, the fact that it was an X Quest makes it kind of... I feel like a lot of people don't get to experience it because it's an X Quest. But, I did it, so that was really cool. There were some nice character moments. This DLC could have been so much better. I'm just like, I'm unsatisfied. I'm left wanting more. Tales of Arise didn't even need an epilogue. Like, Tales of Arise's ending was good enough. You could have ended things there, but when they talked about, like, oh yeah, we're gonna make this DLC that goes over the whole Renin and Danon coexistence and maybe tells you more, maybe bridges the way of Alphen and Xion getting together. I'm like, oh, you know what? Arise ended things perfectly. Or not perfectly necessarily, but good enough. Like, it doesn't need this DLC, but I am so down to see what they do with it. And they didn't live up to any of the expectations. They advertised this as like, hey, we're gonna give Arise a more satisfying conclusion. And like, it just doesn't feel like a necessary epilogue. There's gonna be more, maybe? And I'll continue talking. There's no way that could be the end. They gotta show us the others.
I can think of no better day to begin anew.
No one remembers their time in those masks. Luckily for us, that's how they work. Someday, this whole ordeal will have been entirely forgotten.
But I won't forget it. How could I ever forget what I did here and tried to do? How are your injuries doing?
What, from when you tickled us in the fight? We've been through worse than that.
Even if it hurt, our healers are top-notch. Okay, so what's the plan? Have any idea where you want to go?
I guess I'll just go wherever I feel like.
you get out there. Hope you won't be lonely, okay?
If I stay with you and the others, I'm worried that I'll keep on wanting to make you happy no matter what. Now I know that the happiness I need to commit to most of all is my own. That's easy to say, and I know it'll take some time. But someday I'll be ready to stand tall right alongside the rest of you. And on that day...
We'll eat so much good food, we'll never be hungry again.
Yeah, good call. Food tastes better with friends.
Now that no one tells you what to do, you can become whatever your heart desires.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to finally being able to start my own life. All of it is thanks to you.
No matter where you go, we'll always be your friends. Take good care.
Then I guess it's good.
Nazamil. Maybe in this case, see you soon might be better.
See you soon!
See you soon!
Take care of yourself!
Good luck!
That is such a lame ending. That's really lame. That's so anticlimactic. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn is missed potential. There's so many like times I'm playing this DLC and I'm like, they could have done more with it. First of all, let's talk about the gameplay. They really should have added either Mystic Arts, new arts, different boost attacks, different boost strikes, or just a new gameplay gimmick. I'm not necessarily asking for something like Tales of Grace's Excel mode, but they needed something in Tales of Arise. Even Mystic Arts, that would have been fine. They should have added something new to the gameplay. The fact that, like, hey, your boost strikes get bigger is so minuscule that it doesn't matter. Also, there are no new Zoogle designs. The only new enemies you fight in this DLC are... You know what? I'm muting this. It's most likely gonna get copywritten anyway, I'm sorry. But, the Zoogle designs, there's no new Zoogle designs. They're all reskins of enemies we just saw. So that's really annoying. Like, there's no new Zoogle designs other than Nazamil. They could have added at least a few. Like I said with Forbidden West, they added some new machines. It was like, I think Forbidden West Burning Shores added like 3 to 4 new machines, which was enough. Like, they should have added at least a few new Zoogles to the DLC. That would have been cool. But every single boss we fought was a reskin of the main game, and the main game already reused bosses a decent amount. So that problem rears its ugly head even more. And the DLC is like, the pacing is really weird, and it's padded. I felt like the start of the DLC was really solid, meeting Nazamil, and everything up to going to Vicent. After Vicent, the pacing of the DLC, it's like, it's clear the DLC just doesn't have enough story. Like, they didn't make enough story. They spent all their time making, like, 40 subquests, which I don't mind side quests, but I feel like the DLC just went for quantity over quality. They just wanted to pack as many side quests as possible in, like, this 8 to 10 hour story DLC. So, like, most of this DLC is side quest. And most of them are just, like, samey and repetitive, and they don't really amount to much. They don't, like, build up the characters all that much. They have this whole message of, like, Rena and Dana trying to coexist and people trying to get along, but they never really, like, they never really go anywhere with it. It's just like, they kind of just say like, oh yeah, we'll get there in due time. They never really show any progress. There's also like no new areas, because I remember there's only 2 mausoleums and the Keystone Dungeon, which are the only new dungeons in the game, the new areas, period. I feel like they could have benefited from having more areas, like Tales of Grace's Lineage and Legacies. I'll use Grace's as an example, because I think this is what they could have done. In Grace's, Lineage and Legacies isn't a DLC, but it is an epilogue, so I like to compare it to the F-Arc a lot. What they could have done is, like, yeah, have you go back to some areas every now and then. Like, having us go to the realms was fine, but, like, later in Tales of Graces, like, you go back to a couple of areas, reuniting the party slowly but surely, and then eventually you get to some new areas, like the Elith Lab, you get to the Fodra Queen stuff, which is like the Arcadia Garden. So they have some interesting plot beats and interesting areas later on in the Graces epilogue. But in Tales of Arise, it's just like, yeah, you go to all the realms, you do side quests for people, which get very repetitive, and you're like looking for Nazamil. It's just like, there's just, the pacing's really off. There is not enough story in the DLC to warrant 40 subquests, I feel. Okay, there's still copyright music. But, also, I think another thing they should have done, if they wanted to have Nazamil, like, do the whole Iron Mask thing, again, this kind of goes with making the main story longer in favor of taking out some side quests. They really, they needed more time with Nazamil. Nazamil needed more build-up. Like, I don't care for Nazamil. I don't hate her. I don't think she's bad. I just don't care for her. Like, I was really interested in the start, and I was like, yeah, her backstory is really sad and tragic, but that's it. That's all we got. The game never really did anything to make me care about her, and it doesn't make the bond between her and the characters feel genuine at all because of the limited time we have with her. So that was upsetting. I think at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn is, main story-wise, it's way too short, and they crammed in a ton of side quests. I would have rather them take out, like, I don't know, at least half the side quest for more main story. That's what they should have done. They should have taken out, like, half of the side quests for more main story. The character subquests were also pretty cool. They didn't really, like, develop the characters further all that much, but they were pretty nice. Really, I wish Bandai Namco took more time with this DLC and gave us new Zoogle designs, new arts, new mystic arts, gameplay gimmick, whatever. Something to change the combat up. I also, like, I feel like the main cast was kind of sidelined. They focused hard on Nazamil, a character they really didn't do much build-up for. And another thing I really don't like is Alphen and Xion didn't really get much closure. Like, where was the proposal? Alphen was going to propose and then Xion cut him off. And I thought the ending we were going to get to see Alphen propose to Xion or something with Alphen and Xion, but no, they just focused on Nazamil, so that's really upsetting. We got nothing between Alphen and Xion. Alphen and Xion are supposed to get married after this DLC. Like, this takes place before the post-credit scene of Tales of Arise. So that's really upsetting how we got nothing. We didn't really get much of Alphen and Xion's relationship. Like, we got a little bit of them flirting, but we didn't really get all that much about their relationship, building it up. We didn't get enough, mostly. So yeah, I walk away from Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn just, I'm disappointed. I'm unsatisfied. I want more. Honestly, at this rate, with how this DLC turned out, I kind of wish we didn't get DLC, to be honest with you. I don't think the DLC sucks or anything, but like, they shouldn't have even bothered. They straight up just shouldn't have bothered if they were just going to reuse assets, reuse Zoogle designs, not have any new areas, and not focus on Alphen and Xion's, like, getting to marriage enough. And also not really resolving the Renan and Danon conflict, to be honest. They shouldn't have bothered. It doesn't make Tales of Arise bad because it's $30 DLC, you can ignore it. It just has me disappointed. It's missed potential. I think if they wanted to make another Rise story, they should have made a full sequel. I'm not even asking for a sequel. They should have just done the DLC better. DLC would have been fine. Arise doesn't really need a sequel. If they made a sequel, I wouldn't complain. Arise doesn't even need a sequel. They just did the DLC poorly. They should have cut down on the side quest and gave us more main story. And the thing is, it's probably because I'm trying to compare this to Grace's Lineage and Legacies a lot, but in Lineage and Legacies, the character moments feel so much more like, it feels much more like, oh hey, the characters have more screen time. And sure, they had some fun side quests. I'm not gonna say the DLC had nothing fun. It had some fun character interactions, like the juice making contest was a nice callback to the Dohalim pancakes and stuff. They had some nice quests, like they had some nice skits, I guess. But it wasn't enough to justify this DLC. So yeah, I'm not gonna say the DLC was miserable because I still love the cast and I still love Tales of Arise. It was still like fun because Tales of Arise was a fun game. But I just wish they fleshed out the DLC. I wish they had more time, or they used more time to build it up, or just not even bother if they were just gonna like do this with DLC. It just feels like, why even bother? They could have done so many stuff with this. They could have done so much. Like, focusing the Nazamil plotline is fine. But if they were going to go that route, they needed more build-up for her. So yeah, I'm just disappointed. I just have, like... That's really what it comes down to. I think the Arise DLC is fine. If you didn't, it really, like, I would only recommend this DLC to someone if you want to play more. If you don't mind just having more content and playing more Arise. If you love the Rise and you want to play more of it, then I'd be like, yeah, you could probably just... You could pay $30 for the DLC. Like, why not? Even though $30, like, for what we got here, $30 is really expensive. That's really steep. That's not really a price I can justify when this is what we got. To be honest with you. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have much to say. Most of what I think is just like, Arise's DLC is disappointing. I feel like if I had played Arise immediately before this, it would have, like... I probably would have been more drained. I feel like the fact that I played Arise, like... What is it? Not 2 years ago, but like a year ago, on my own time, I played the PS4 version. Kind of made it feel a little bit fresh because I was like, yeah, I didn't just finish the final boss of the base game, but I can only imagine, like, if I had replayed the game again and played this immediately after, I probably, like, would have thought it dragged. But even still, I'm really disappointed. I'm so disappointed. They could have done so much more with this. The DLC isn't bad. It's okay. But that's because I love Tales of Arise. It was fun to an extent, but it's just like, I wish we got more. That being said, what's next for Tales of? Xillia 2 post-game is next? Maybe I'll do that. I don't know when I'll do that, but I'm gonna do it soon. I do still want to go back to Xillia 2. We probably have like 2 to 4 streams worth of post-game I want to do. I don't think I'm doing everything, but I wanted to do at least 2 to 4 streams, and I wanted to start... The reason I didn't do it sooner was because I wanted to start Final Fantasy VII Remake at the time. And with Dragon Quest coming out, it might honestly be the perfect time. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but regardless, Xillia 2's post-game will begin anywhere from, like, this month to January or February. That's probably what I'm thinking. I mean, we'll do it soon. And I want to do another Tales of playthrough soon. Since this was just DLC. And not like, this was like 20 hours. So after Xillia 2's post-game, there will be a Tales of game relatively soon. Especially because we don't know when the next Tales game will come out, so... I'm thinking either Innocence or maybe replaying Symphonia. Those are my 2 options. Because Destiny 2 isn't translated, I don't think, to my knowledge. If it is, please tell me, chat. Rebirth isn't translated. I don't want to do Fantasia or Zestiria. So my only options are Innocence or Legendia for one I haven't played. So I might want to do one of those, or I might just replay Symphonia, because I have been wanting to replay Symphonia lately. But there will be a Tales of game in, like, the next few months. Not counting the Zillia 2 post-game, because I did promise Zillia 2 post-game is first. We will not move on to a Tales game until Zillia 2 is complete. But yeah. Huge miss, Namco. Huge miss. Oh, we have more here?
And off she goes.
I wonder what she'll be like the next time we get to see her.
She'll have changed. But we'll all be different as well. That said, in all the ways that matter, we'll still be us.
Yeah. I'm sure you're right.
All right then, bring it on. Oh yeah, gotta step up my game in the meantime so I don't get left behind. Hey, what'd I do now?
Boring. That's all the monologuing I could handle.
Come on, I wasn't monologuing. I was trying to explain my... hey! Always just marching off. You're a pain, you know that?
Yeah, whatever.
It appears that the future is looking bright indeed.
Yes,
Oh, we should get some of Gladys's
it certainly does look bright.
You're buying.
Come on, let's... Shion.
Isn't
Proposal?
that something you wanted to say to me?
Okay, they are going to address it. Thank goodness. I thought they weren't.
You ready to listen now?
They're not going to show it, are they? I mean, it's very obviously a proposal, but I doubt they're going to show it. Die! That's so upsetting. Why? It's such a disappointment. Tales of Arise DLC is fine. It's fine. There's a really nice image, though. It's okay. It just left me disappointed. 100% Tales of Arise trophy progress. That being said, I actually don't know. I think Tales of Arise is still my third favorite Tales game, though. Oh my word, a lot of artifacts. New Game Plus for Beyond the Dawn. No thank you. I'm probably like, I'm never playing this DLC again. There is no reason to ever play this DLC again. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn is done. It's okay. I was very disappointed they could have done a lot more with it. I think Tales of Arise is still my third favorite game because, like, Beyond the Dawn's DLC, it doesn't ruin Tales of Arise. So I think this is still my third favorite Tales game. Probably. It doesn't ruin the game, it's just... It's disappointing. They could have done more with it. Could it have made... No, I probably wouldn't have. I was gonna say maybe Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn could make this, like, my second favorite Tales game, but nah. I don't... Even if it was amazing, I love Berseria and Graces too much for it to overthrow those two. So, yeah. But hey, we're done with Beyond the Dawn. That is it. We'll be getting to the Zillia 2 post-game soon, and then also, I'm gonna do another Tales game. It's gonna be either probably Innocence or Symphonia again, but one of those two. But we'll be getting to some Tales of stuff soon, so yeah. Those of you watching, hope you all enjoyed. Lots of Tales of stuff. There's a couple of Tales of stuff I have planned soonish, and then other RPGs in general. So yeah. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so no stream. Friday will be Wild Arms 5, and then Saturday will be something new. So yeah. We have Dragon Quest Monsters coming out like a week from now, so we gotta get ready for that release. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time.